Hi everybody, I'm back with Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, April edition, volume 5. I thought I'd show you what I got up to with this. I've been having fun embroidering a circle. So I've got all sorts of matching the colours, but I haven't necessarily matched the exact shape and design. I didn't necessarily want it to look absolutely the same as what was there. So I have got French knots, satin stitch, seed stitch with little French knots in a different colour. The satin stitch and the French knots are kind of just the way I've filled in the space of that colour. I've mixed a couple of different threads together to get a bit more of a variegated kind of effect on some of the stems of the leaves. Got some bullion knots, and around the outside I've used this perle, what, number 5. I think I like the 5 weight the best. It's not too thin and it's not too thick. I've used a thicker perle for some of the pink, and I've sort of put that with the apricot colour because it's kind of, the petals are kind of apricot-y, pinky. The other thing is that it's clearly not really a petal. Here I just was blending the colours through. I was having fun. Still got a little bit of a sort of a yellowy green to do through some of these areas, and then it's finished. I thought about putting 2 dotted lines around the outside, but I'm actually quite happy with one. Now I wanted to do something that blended with this but was a bit different for the opposite panel, because there will be the panel, this will be here, and then we'll have this other one. So this is going to be between. I still haven't done anything on that because this has been taking most of my time, plus the mermaid thing, plus the other bits and pieces, like her surprising me and coming home 3 weeks early from Somalia. So I've been seeing him, and that's, I lost my program. had everything planned out what I was doing, but that's okay. Nice that he came home early. So what I've been doing, I've cut a circle and I have made a bit of wire, and I'll show you on this other one, but I kind of was recording this earlier and realised that so many things were happening. The washing machine was on, the kids next door started screaming and yelling, and it was just, I thought I'd better wait and start again. So I think I will show you again how I started, because I just stopped recording and came back. So I've got this floristry wire from my friend Deshka. She gave me a whole, when her nan went into a home, she gave me a whole heap of her nan's stuff, which was beautiful. And her nan passed away, but it's nice to be still using some of the stuff. I used a spool to get my wire shape for here. I've used a smaller spool for here, and it's out in the other room, and I'm quickly grabbing a moment when no one's around and there's no doors slamming, no kids, there's no washing machine, everything's really quiet. So I'm just grabbing a moment, honestly. So I'm just making it as round as I can. I've got pliers that will cut wire. And I've got pliers that will bend that wire down. And I do actually have some floristry tape left over from Deshka's nan, so I might hunt some of that out to wrap around this bit. But the method that I had, this is a little bit bigger than that, was to tack this down. We learnt this with Anne Brooke. Tack it down and then cut out the circle. And what I've done on this one is snip it every so often so I can tuck it in under the wire. So this is where I got up to before I decided to call it a day on the video and start again later. See if I can show you. There's the wire. and I decided that I'd cut little bits along here so it tucks in under the wire, and then doing blanket stitch, so on the other side of the wire, and then up through this. This is white linen. When you get a linen sheet set, sometimes the pillowcases come in these little bags, and I just think that these are just gorgeous with the little buttons and the buttonholes for the bag. So I've been saving those because the linen's beautiful linen. So I've got a little bit behind here. I decided to use this same colour so as it matches around the front. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going around the whole outside of this, catching the wire inside and blanket stitching it. Making sure I tuck these under so I get the wire in the right spot. Just like this. There. So I'm going to go and do a bit more of this, and I'll come back after because I think my dinner's about to arrive. Treating myself to Kung Pao chicken tonight, which I always regret because my tummy doesn't deal with it down the track, but I love it in the moment. It's delicious. Right, I'll be back. All right, I'm back with my little circles, and I used that colour as you saw, and I'm just thinking I've got two choices just to brighten it up a little bit. Some of the gold or some of the yellow, both of which have been used through here. That's the gold and that's the yellow. Actually, I like the soft fluffy yellow. I might use that. So I'm thinking that I might just weave around the outside a bit. This is going to be a little experiment to see if I actually like what I'm thinking of doing. If I don't, I'll take it out. I think I want it to be on the outside. I think I might do a back stitch all the way around. And I'm just going in between the two stitches. It is highlighting them a little bit. I don't think that's a problem. For the two side panels, I'm going to have to source material that works. Like I've used white here and I've got a pink lining, and the pink lining at least will go with the flowers. But I think as I want to make it sort of quilty, I'll probably have to source a couple of different bits of materials that'll match. All right, I've just gone round them both doing a back stitch, and then I am just going through this last little bit, just weaving through each stitch to create a bit more of a solid line. I'm quite liking it. They're like little sunshines. All right, that's the last one, and now I think I don't want to do any more on that. I think that and this are quite decorative. Now I've still got to finish off this really pale greeny yellow colour. I'll get there. Now I've got these two panels that go in between. I've got to work out what I'm going to do with those. So while I'm thinking about that, I just wanted to show, this was a hexy paper piece waistcoat that either my grandma made or my great grandma made. It's been lined, all beautifully stitched, beautifully hand stitched, and lots of colours. Neither of my daughters want it as a pass down. No one's going to use it, but I don't want to lose this beautiful old fabric, or the fact that someone handmade it, and especially someone in my family. And I also really like the idea of keeping the buttons, these beautiful little pearl buttons, and the buttonholes. So I'm actually thinking of making a bag out of it, because I think I'd get more use out of it. So I have been thinking about, I'm already doing the origami bag, but I've been thinking there's the other sort of it's not an origami bag, it's one that's got a little loop that comes over and you thread it through and that shuts it. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but there's plenty of material to make something like that, ready lined even. So I don't know, what do you think? Is anyone thinking it's probably not good to cut it up? There'll always be someone, but look at these beautiful materials, aren't they gorgeous? I think that the bag will have to be made out of all of these, no extra fabric, because these already look a little bit like the handles, you know. I'll find out the name of that bag, and it sort of comes up like that. Anyway, there's quite a few bags that I want to make. So anyway, segued, I have to now work out what I'm doing on here. So my inner fabric, my lining is this colour. I could of course use some of this. This has got multiple colours on it. I might actually just get a bit of this fabric to have on here. I could also cut up a few little bits of the fabric without taking away from the flowers and use them, you know, just use some strips, because I'm thinking that this would be patchwork. I'm in two minds. I could just dye this, in two minds about it. I could dye it yellow, I could do yellows, I could do blues, I could do pinks, something that matches. I don't know. I think I'm going to just have to go and source out all my materials and have a little bit of a work on that this week. All right, so I might just finish it here for this week and come back. I've got a bit on my plate, so that's where I'm up to. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.